Hello and welcome to Stream Tabulous. So let's take a look at some prompts today. And what we're going to take a look at is when you're writing your prompt and you're describing your vision specifically to the Krita AI diffusion, how to give it directions for the AI to create the image that you're looking for. You can think of it as being a director of a photographer or a director in general. When you're talking to the AI, you need to put emphasis on certain things to get the vision that you're trying to describe to be generated. So we'll move across to the intro and then we'll move over to Krita and we'll take a look at it. So here we are in Krita with the Ackley's AI diffusion, and I've already gone through and put a prompt in here and given it a quick run. One of the reasons I do that is in the general setups is to get the AI working so it's already preloaded in the memory. So we have our prompt up here and we can see some of the images that we're rendering. Basically, I'm trying to go for a bit of a Ghostbuster look, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll run another render there, and that's just to keep it in my memory of the system. So we have our prompt, and I'll open it up. So this is what I'm putting in here. So I've got style realistic. With the model that I'm using, we're not really going to get photorealism. If I wanted that, I would add extra weights to it, like Kodak 35mm photography or 0.35mm photography, so forth, film grain. And they would be trigger words so the AI does a more realistic image. So, but with this one, we're just going loosely. So we have style realistic, and I've got action. Lots of city. That's not what we really want there. We want city of floating ghosts, feeling of fear and terror. I'm not going to get that when I have the word magical there, but that's okay. So we'll have a bit of more action to it. And I want it from behind a Ghostbuster. I'll put Egon because I really want the sort of lanky glasses and the frizzy sort of hair look. Proton pack on the back in brown clothes, orange beam of energy, or orange beam. There should be a comma there. An angry evil green ghost, messy, destruction, slime, on a street, enchanted wonderland. Wonderland adds a more whimsical look to it and makes it look a bit different, not like a normal city or a photography or a normal sort of cartoon sort of feel. It sort of gives it more of a magical look to it. So I like the word wonderland, and whimsical are great for that. Gothic city, I don't want a normal city. I want something that sort of looks a bit gritty and grungy, so I've got that in there. Beautiful, whimsical again, that awe of wonder. So these are trigger words. The more you put a word in there, the more the AI will recognize that word and you'll hit that more. So you can have whimsical in there lots or little. The more you put it in there, the more it will get concentrated on. Fantasy art concepts, detailed background, glowing particles, intricate details, ultra sharp, 8K, which is meant to be a trigger to help it put more details onto each of the details in the image. So detailed again, I'm really pushing that word detailed multiple times, as you can see. Masterpiece, a enchanted wonderland style, so to get again to give it that magical look to the image, something different. Abstract, I thought I'd throw that in there just to give it that little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like a randomness where you're getting parts out of place with the image. I don't want it to be smooth. I want it to be sort of a bit all over. Floating light particles. So I've got that in again. So we have glowing particles up here and then floating light particles. Mystical, soft glow, ultra detailed masterpiece again, stunning details, beautiful color, night, Victorian Gothic, again, that applies to that sort of background that I'm looking for, and I've been enjoying that lately. And I put elements of gold in there. Now, I've copied this, and I have actually put this across into here already. And these are the renders that I'm getting with it. We can see sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. You're going to get limbs cut off. It really is, you tell it what to do, and you generate a bunch of images until you get the until it pumps out the image that you have in your head. I have an image in my head rather like this one here. This is what I'm looking for. So as I said, I wanted it from behind, which we have here. So we got that, but we're not really getting it in all the images. We're getting a lot of frontward facing ones. Okay. So we'll come through, and again, we have another one, and it's in front. So we're going to come through, and we're going to add some what's called weights to the image. Now, I want to show that quickly, so I'm just going to close this one off. Okay. So what we have here is my guide to how to add weight to your wording, so the emphasis to the word, so the AI pays more attention to it. So you can, first of all, you can put your brackets around your word or around multiple words, so the AI sees that word and works on that when it's creating the image. Double brackets is pay more attention to it. You can also have the word with the column, and then you can have 0.1, or you can even go 1.05. So you can go anywhere from all zeros, which means you don't have to pay attention to this, usually up to 3. Depending on the model, it may break the stronger the weight becomes using this. And when it breaks, it will just generate usually a solid color image. So keep that in mind. If you ever see that, find one of your weights and take it back. So again, we can put it in brackets, and we can put the weight in there and say pay more attention to it. We can put double column, and then we can put the word, and then we can put the weight. Really pay attention to this, and this is how much strength I want on the word. So I want a lot of red in my image. It'd be 3. I want red in my image. I want to make sure there's red somewhere in my image, but I don't want too much red in my image. Then you could have it as 1 or even 0.6 or 0.5 if you wanted to. These are meant to work. I don't play with these ones much. So you've got the word plus, which is put emphasis on this word, plus plus, more emphasis on this word, plus plus plus, lots of emphasis on this word. And you can put them in the brackets as well. With all of this, you can also put phrases in the bracket. So from behind with backpack, and put that in brackets so it gets more concentration on it. Apparently, you can also use negatives on the end of words. So you can have the particular word, don't pay too much of attention to this. I don't know how these would go if they'd be better trying to do these weights in the negative prompts. So, like I said, I don't really play with these ones too much. I play with the brackets and then the weight strings. So we'll go over and we'll take a look at that. I'll post this image on my cloud, and you guys can download it and use it as a cheat sheet. You could print it up and leave it next to your computer on a small piece of paper if need be, until it gets stuck in your noggin. So we'll come back across here, and we're going to come through and we're going to add some weights to it. And we're going to show you how that works. So first of all, we're going to have, I'm going to add bracket, City of Floating Ghosts, bracket. And we can render an image. Now you can do this lots, or you can do it little by little and build up your image as you go. That's entirely up to you on how you decide to do that. So we'll let that render. Now, depending on the model as well, the model might not understand the word ghost, might not have a lot of training in it. This here might be its representation of a ghost. So keep that in mind. Okay, we have a beautiful image there. I'm actually saving some of these as I go. This is actually pretty much what I'm looking for. That's the style that I'm after. But we'll play with that some more. So we'll do that again. And as we can see, without the weight there, we're not really getting anything that looks like a ghost in the image. But we got it there. We didn't get it before. So it's showing that the AI is paying attention to that, which is a really good thing to see. Yeah, see here we've got probably standing directly in front of the ghost is perhaps the way it's done it, so we're not really seeing it. So sometimes when we add strengths to or weights to words, we can break it and get something that we don't want. So keep that in mind. It's a finesse, and it may take a little bit of time to learn. Sometimes when we add weights to a word, it will be stronger than the other words in the phrase or in your generative description, so in your prompt, and it will overwhelm everything else. So sometimes we have to dial it back. So it's a finesse of what to put stronger and what to put weaker, and that will take a little bit of playing with for you guys to work it out. So I want that Ghostbuster in it all the time. And no ghost in there. Again, we're getting these sort of effects which are probably it's thinking it's a ghost. So we'll let that run for a moment. We can also put one ghost. By putting a one touching it, the AI understands it as there should be one of these in the image. We'll do a double bracket so it pays attention from behind. We'll remove the brackets there. So from behind Ghostbuster 1.4. And we'll generate that. So it's giving it more strength on this part. Save this one. So we're getting that nicely there. Now we've separated it. So we'll try that again. We'll see how the from behind and then Ghostbuster separately. When you're creating your image, keep in mind that the size of your image will do two things. One, a size which is very, very small can result in things like not very good faces and not very good details. The bigger we get, usually the more intricate details we get. But we can add to it by doing the upscaling later anyway. But with old hardware, like my GTX 1070, I usually run this. So what we do is when we create our blank and you do your new, I have my width as 900 and then I have my height at the 628 with a resolution of 300, so my pixels per square inch. So that's what I run at, and I find that I get some really nice consistent speeds. And you can see the old GTX 1070 is pumping out rather well. We can see that is working beautifully, so we're getting that perfect every single time there. Where before we were not getting that. We were just getting front facing, front facing, front facing, one random back facing. So we can go through that. We're also getting more consistent because we're getting it from the behind. We're getting that the faces that we actually wanted as well, or not faces, but the back of the head. So we can see that is working much better. That one there was when we removed the weight and we didn't have the from behind weight there. So I'd imagine it is now understanding that weight more clearly and paying attention to that from behind, which means, there we go. I actually love that one. That's fantastic. I wouldn't have actually imagined doing something like that in my wildest dream, but I love it. A new ghost trap, catching a ghost, and perhaps they need a prequel movie. And well, they can't really do a prequel since number one is it, but yeah, coming up with the emblem. Maybe it was a ghost trap. It was a deleted scene that we never seen, and that's how they caught their first ghost. So I love that. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I'll definitely be making that one bigger later on. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So we're getting it beautiful as we're coming down. We're getting that proton pack on the back. Doesn't really look like a proton pack. I can show you a cheat for that by doing a composite. So yeah. Okay, and now we're back to it being from behind. So it's paying attention to it. That weight on the ghost there is generating perfectly, and we can see that in there. We can see these details. I'm really loving this Lightning Zaxitius version 2 model. It's just beautiful with what it's putting out. Keep in mind, even though we're putting the weight on there, it doesn't mean AI is always going to do it. It's still going to kick out some random ones. What we're trying to do is move away from this here, where it's very inconsistent and doing more that frontwards facing. So what we're trying to do is just push it to where we're getting more back of the character. So, and we can see we're getting that from here where we've added that in. We still get one kick out. And what we want to do is probably generate a lot of them to give you an idea of how it actually works for that randomness and getting it there. And we can see we're getting ghost there. We're getting a ghost there. So this one works actually exceptionally well. I actually love that. With something like this, we could come through and apply that now. And you could select this extra person here. I'm going to show you a couple of cheeky little methods. We'll see how we go with one. So we'll do that. We'll try to remove the content. And we'll see if we can get rid of them. Once this is upscaled, it will fix the faces. So keep that in mind. We're not looking for perfect detail there at the moment. There's a method that I talked about before. Yeah, beautiful. That's fantastic. Okay. So we can edit like that. There's a method that I talked about once before, and it's if you're not getting your infill perfectly, you can create a layer, select around your target like this, and then you can paint them out. So we can come through to the paintbrush, we can select our paint, make that larger. We can paint the person out like this. So now there's no details of the person being there. The AI will not generate a person, because sometimes it might generate a person or a car over and over again, and it may get frustrating. And of course, the more you do to this, as in the way these colors blend together, the better your result from your image will actually be. Try to find a color there. It's better. So we can come through and do it like this. It can be a hot mess. I think artists will absolutely hate this video. I do get dislikes for that sort of thing. And then we can hit on generate or remove content. So now it's going to look at that, and it's going to look at this and go, okay, that's out of place, but I can see this here, and we should get back to doing something like that, but of course, in painted out. Of course, with a buggered arm, I've mentioned plenty of times in the neuromuscular condition, this gives me back a new method of creating art, which is faster than spending days working on it, or and so forth, and causing myself bodily pain. So I'm actually loving it. It's a different type. You kind of feel like you don't feel like you created it. You feel like you guided it to create something. It's still a nice feeling to know that you've able to describe something and get something that you want to do. It does better than what I'd be able to do. So, and we can see there again, and I think that actually came out better. So we'll apply that. And someone said, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Alt H. No, not Alt H. Control H. Ah, there we go. So Control H apparently hides the ants, and then you Control H to put it back. So you can actually go remove content, and it's still there. The only thing that you want to remember with that is you don't know if you're actually... Oh, there we go. We painted the layer underneath it. So, yeah, if you're trying to paint outside of the layer, and you're like, well, why can't I paint outside? You might have a hidden selected section. So that's the only thing that I'd point out. So that's Control H. You can hide your outline, your selected section, as he called it, the marching ants, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. He, she. Yeah, you'll see them in the comment on the previous video mentioning that. So get in there and give them some thumbs up on that comment, because that's just so handy. So on the review of this Zaxitius lightning model, their comments in there. Head on down, give them a thumb up for sure. Very, very handy. And that way, when you're going through it, your selection's there, but no ants. So you can actually see that it blends in better. And I think that's great. So you can see the fading in that, and you can go, oh, yep, yep, oh, that one's better. And then back to it. And then done. So love that. I think that was a very, very handy tip. So, backpack. I said that I would show you a cheat for that. So we can see how the weights play on it anyway. We still will get some random ones through, but at the same time, we're definitely getting on these from behind ones a lot more than we were getting in the beginning, and when we don't have them as shown here. And we have this one here, which is pretty good. We can come through and we can remove that. Might actually do this one. So we'll come through. So you can select this little area here, remove content, come back down to the bottom where we're going to see it. I'll do it 3 times. We'll hide our ants with the eye movement there to indicate that. It's a great tip. Great tip. Love it. Absolutely love it. So this video could take forever, where I'm sitting there and I'm trying to go through those weights and show you how they can be affected. We can lower weights on certain things or remove certain words, because the more you've got in the prompt, the harder it is for the AI to understand it. And even though we're not like getting an Ecto 1 or something in there, you could always in-paint an Ecto 1 by doing the selection like I am here as well. So if you're missing an element in your image, it's something you can put in. So that's great. Ants. Oh, definitely A. So we'll cancel that. We have that applied. So this proton pack here, it might not be what you're looking for. So I'm going to come through. I'm going to drag a proton pack image. I'm going to insert it as a new layer. There it is there. And then I can just, we're selected. So I'm not able to move. That's the downfall of those hidden ants. So make sure we're off on that. Now we can move it. So we can put this proton pack here like that. Move that up like that. That way it's behind the image. So now we got this fantastic proton pack on the back of the person. Get it to where you want it. Now that we have this here, we can come through and we can do light little cleanups on the edges. Come through like that. We'll just remove. Do a little cleanup. Now it looks out of place because it's not made by the Lightning model that we're currently using. It is a PNG and it is of a photo. So that may look a little bit distracting to you. So what we can do there is we can highlight it, and then we can tell the AI model to render it, and we can play with the strengths of that render to blend it more with the image. We'll show you how to do that. and then we can talk about that upscaling. Just getting a little bit slower. So we can see that. It's just cleaning it up, removing some of those artifacts. And you can sit there and you can do that all day long over top of that. Okay. So as much as you want. And you can also come through and you can highlight your proton pack here, or your clip art. So we're doing a composite. And anyone that's done lots of art and isn't just doing drawing, sometimes you'll draw your character and you'll composite it separate on the background. And I've talked about that before. So we're going to drop this strength down and we're going to try 40%. And then what we're going to do is refine this image. So, and it's already told it what to do. It's come up with a selection there. And what it's going to do is the AI is going to look at this and it's going to go, what is it? And try to generate it. You might run into issues with that. And if you do, you can just easily come up here and type in the word black Ghostbuster Proton Pack. And then we can put the weight on that as well. So we'll just put 2. And then you can redefine it again. So you can say, nah, that's not really good enough. It's done it, but it's made it a bit messy. So you could drop your weight down more. But you can see how this is doesn't look like it's a cut and paste, or as much of a cut and paste. Having the weight too strong here will end up not rendering a Ghostbuster pack at all. So keep that in mind. And you can see that it is working better. We can try more strength on that if we want and see how that goes. I think this one works rather well. So that one there looks a little bit too clean. That one there sort of starting to blend with the image better. So we'll try one at 50%. We'll see how that goes. This is creating our image. So we're able to direct it more. And if there's things that we want taken out, as you've seen, we can just select it. We can in-paint things and so forth. That's beautiful. I love that one. Sort of more futuristic sort of look going on there. So there's old, there's new. It's even put the shadows in. And we take that out. You can see it's doing shadows for it. We can drop that off. And we can see that is just absolutely gorgeous for the way it's put it in. So we have this futuristic backpack going on there. Save that. Now, once you've done, this is one of the biggest tips I can give, is upscale your image. So I'm going to leave it on 30%, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that, and I don't know if I've got it in here. I do. There's the Dream Shaper. So I'm going to have it on Dream Shaper. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to hit upscale, and then I'm going to show you the result. Now this here, these are different to each other, the different types of upscalers. The default one is the fastest one, but sometimes you'll see physical squaring and artifacts on your image, depending on what it is. I'm going to go to the quality one, which is going to take longer to do, and then I'm going to show you what this image looks like after we have done it. So I'm going to stop recording here, and we'll come back after it's upscaled. Okay, so that took around about between 7 and 10 minutes, not quite 10 minutes. So quicker than I thought. And we can see here that by upscaling it, it has gone through and put a lot of detail on it. So you can see that piping on the hose there. We can see this sort of light coming out of the backpack. We can see some stubble on the side there of the face. We can see our ghost is different too now. We've got more of a creepy looking ghost happening there. So that's before, and that's after the upscale. So it does keep the previous, so you can actually see them side by side. And we can see this sort of like melted sort of ground coming away here, and this fire coming off the entity. So, and of course you can in-paint parts of this if you want. You can see that building is a lot clearer as well. So the difference is night and day. And that just brings it together. It adds more of the detail to the image and finishes up beautifully. So that's the upscaling. I would always upscale it. And you can see that all this was done with the Zaxishus lightning model, and then we used the Dream Shaper lightning model just to do the upscale. And it can be different with the ones that you use. I like to use just a, not a merged model. A merged model is like the Zaxishus model, where they've taken multiple models and their own as well and created a new model. And with the pure trained models like the Lightning Diffusion and the Juggernaut model and so forth, they're just trained. There's no extra mergers in there. So they often can have a slightly sharper, crisper look to it. And that is my reason that I'll do an upscale with just a trained one and not a merged one. But using a merged one, you can get fantastic results as well. So that is something to keep in mind. So I hope this video helps with understanding the prompt and how to get better adherence with the model that you're actually using. So I'll put that JPEG on my cloud and it will be up in the next few hours. So you can download that JPEG from my cloud with just that little cheat sheet of what you can actually try to give better strength to your actual image on keywords, to trigger it, to push it into what you're describing. And remember, it takes a lot of renders to get to where you want. The prompt adherence isn't fully there yet with Stable Diffusion to where what you type is what you get. That's going to take a while. But with a little bit of patience, you can get some beautiful results out of it. I like making wallpapers for people to use for free for their mobile phones and things like that. And generally, I just do it to keep my brain active more than anything. And the stuff that I also do most of is, of course, the free photo restorations, which is one of the things I just love to do to help people out. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get the bell on for notifications. Share this video to your other social medias, and yeah, hopefully we can get the word out there that anyone can do it. It's quick, easy, and anyone can do it. Do need a little bit of horsepower on your GPU to get it going, but the old GTX 1070 does well. That is more than 10 years old on that graphics card. So, you know, there's a second-hand market for things like that. If you don't like the second-hand market, you can look at a mid-level graphics card like the 460s or 3060s. And generally, they don't cost much more than a year's subscription that you'd be paying for Adobe. And the difference is that you can generate as many images as you want and do as much as you want, and then you don't have to worry about paying for the next year and so forth. So when I say quick and easy and anyone can do it, yes, anyone can do it. You do need the hardware for it, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Laptops now, a lot of them have the GTX, the RTX graphics cards in them. So perhaps you're looking at upgrading and you're looking at AI. Keep those thoughts in mind if this is something that you want to do, or if you have a child which is interested in graphics arts. I would always recommend, even when I was just using Paint Shop Pro and Photoshop and just the general basic tools like Lightroom and that, I always felt that having a more powerful system was better, because then I could work on large graphic files and so forth without having those headaches in the background. So I would always lean towards getting a gaming computer for anything, because then the graphics card is there, and if you want to do something like you know, ArchiCAD or 3D models, then you've got the processing power there. And now with AI, as we can see, that anyone that has one of those systems is very, very capable of getting into this sort of work and doing it. And Krita is free, and Ackley's AI diffusion is free. Krita is free, and Ackley's AI diffusion is free. So like, subscribe, get the bell on for notifications, and I'll see you in the next Streamtabulous video. Thank you for watching my video and sticking around to the end. If you like my videos, it'd really help me out if you could like and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm to push my videos out there to more viewers, which in turn helps me and helps everyone. So thank you for watching my video and hanging around to the end, and I will see you in the next video.